Life is like a bowl of cherries on this gorgeous Tuesday, April 29th day. Welcome to Daily Dose of Donna. I hope everyone is having a phenomenal, gorgeous day. Here in Los Angeles, it's sunny. It's a beautiful spring day, and I've got my Jeffrey Dahmer glasses on, I guess. I don't know. Picked these up at World Market yesterday. I love them. They make me feel smart because, I'm in court all day. As you know, I'm following the Karen Reed trial and I am hooked. Although today is quite an interesting day. I am waiting for not Jen Abel. Mixing up my court cases, if you know what I'm saying. I am waiting for Miss Jen McCabe to take the stand. And meanwhile, we are stuck with a very, shall I say, boring, interesting, some interesting takeaways, but a boring person on stand. And it's a lot of back and forth. It's a lot of details. It's a lot of like, he's an expert from Celebrate. So basically, we're getting a lot of details about where the phone was, the temperature of the phone, exactly how many steps the phone took. And it's important. It's important, but it's slow moving. And I'm like, let's get to Jen McCabe. Let's get to the good. If you can remember from the Karen Reed trial, she was the woman who Googled how long to die in the cold. We need to get to her. So while we wait for the good shit, you got Daily Dose of Donna, right? That is why I am here, to keep you guys occupied. I'll pretend to be Jen McCabe for you. I'll be on the stand. Your Honor, I have no idea what you're talking about. Welcome. Everyone get your sprinklers out. Start to do your dancing. It's Daily Dose of Donna. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I hope you got your arm exercises in. I hope you set your watches, your Apple Watches, for the workout. Now, I'm telling you, after watching the Karen Reed trial, I'm like, damn, our iPhones and our Apple Watches are invasive as fuck. Like, these things absolutely see everything that we do. Do you know that our phones are watching us, like, big time? They know how many times we are locking our phone, how many times we're looking at our phone. It knows exactly what temperature our phone's at. It knows everything. It's scaring me. It is scaring me. I don't like it. But the good news is that if, knock on wood, this doesn't happen, but if someone decides to murder me, my Apple phone and watch will be able to solve the crime. Hopefully. Not if you're living in Canton, then no. Most likely no. You'll be framed, but most likely, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We have so many stories to get to. We're going to talk about Blake and Ryan. We're going to talk about the legal updates. We're going to talk about the new couple in town who are scaring the bejesus out of me. Yeah, that's Bill Belichick and Jordon Hudson. I'm calling elder abuse. Hold on. Let me take my phone, meaning my spy. 1-800-ELDERABUSE.com. Is that a phone number? Excuse me, I have a new couple to report. Move over Casey Kasem and his girl. We got a problem. Guys, it's crazy what's happening over there. That was triggering. I usually put my phone on silent. I don't want to have any distractions, but I have it on not silent because I want to get a distraction. I want to get distracted if Jen McCabe does go on the stand, because I was thinking we could jump over to the live feed and just see it for a second. And I got an email from my estranged father. Dun, dun, dun. Just in time for the Valley today. I don't want to hear from him. And I don't want to hear from Jax Taylor, the two men that trigger me. Now, we'll talk about Bill Belichick and Jordon. Let's see what else is on the docket. See, I'm a court person now. I just talk about court stuff now. Let's see what else is on the docket, Your Honor. What else do I have planned to talk about today? I have a lot on my list. I always put a ton on my list and then I decide like what I want to eliminate on. Ooh, we can talk about Beyonce. We can talk about Tracy Anderson, who I think is the Stephanie Jones of the fitness world. We can talk about Teddi Mellencamp and Alex Cooper. We've got a lot going on. We got a lot going on. So let's get into the stories. We got all kinds of stories to talk about. So first, and of course, Karen Reed. First things first. Kissy, 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 kissy. I was going to do some sort of like little cute rhyme, right? We've got all kinds of things to talk about, but Ryan and Blake, I was in bed last I was in bed last night thinking about Ryan and Blake, never in that way. But Brandon Slenar may have a new woman. We'll talk about that in just a second, even though I thought he had a girlfriend. But Blake and Ryan, there is this new article going around talking about, how yesterday the whole thing was how she speaks to him and she's very like possessive over him. And she kind of puts her hand on his chest. And that's like her thing, right? Oh my God, this is the best comment. Denise says, Tracy Anderson once pushed me out of the way in the cheese section of Whole Foods. Number one, the fact that she even buys cheese is shocking because I thought she doesn't eat, but like that is 100% so on brand. Get out of my way. I'm getting cheese. I wouldn't be surprised. We have good stories about Tracy Anderson. I've heard it all. So many stories. How she works out. She's very serious when she works out. I don't think you're allowed to smile in a Tracy Anderson class. Blake and Ryan. Blake loves to put her hand on the man's chest. That's her big thing. She holds him. And yesterday, before I went to bed, I was looking at some stories and I noticed there's a story that she was wearing some sort of power suit. That was the article. She's wearing a power suit. By the way, did you guys hear that she's going to be on Seth Meyers tomorrow night? She's going to be on Late Night with Seth Meyers tomorrow night, Thursday, I think, which is going to be her first interview. Not just like a panel or press, like a red carpet press, but her first actual sit down interview since this entire madness began with Seth Meyers, who feels, it's like any of those late night stupid talk shows. I'm sorry, I hate late nights so much. Do you guys like late night? I can't watch any of those shows. I find them to be so fluff. They're fluff. If Joan Rivers was hosting a late night show, I'd be there every night. But the rest of them I find so bullshit. Or Jean Smart on Hacks. Like I would watch one of those women do a late night show, but any of those guys doing those late night shows, I find them to be so annoying to me. But Seth Meyers is doing it. And I'm sure it's going to be the most bullshit interview. It's going to be one of those like, so like, tell me, everything's been good for you, right? You're having a great year. Wink, wink. And she's going to be like, yeah, Seth, what have you heard? It's going to be exactly like an SNL vibe. Watch. But she has to be very careful here because SNL totally screwed Ryan in the whole idea of like making fun of the lawsuit, making fun of it. So either Emily says, I bet they won't even bring up the lawsuit. My question is, do you think they even touch on it? Do you think they even question it or even, connect with it whatsoever in any like zoomed out way? Do you even think that they make light of it? Or do you think they completely separate from it 100%? I'm very curious what you guys think. It would be so wild to have Blake Lively come to TV in her first interview back since all of this and not even mention it ends with us. It would be very interesting to see. Oh, this is an interesting comment, and I'm going to have to look this up. Mara says, please tell me you saw Nick Viall criticizing Travis Kelce for unfollowing Ryan Reynolds this morning. No, I didn't. But if you want to do me a favor, find the timestamp on his YouTube and I will pull that up. Please. That will be very entertaining to watch. The fact that Nick Viall can criticize Travis Kelce for this is good shit. That is hysterical. Of course he can. Of course he can absolutely. Jen McCabe just came to the stand. What should we do? What should we do? Okay. Stay with me. We can get to that in a little bit. Okay. I don't want to pull it up in the moment. We have to stick with Blake and then we'll jump over there for a bit. Okay. So then what we're going to talk about here is that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, they have this kind of like very lovey-dovey hand on chest. This is her energy. This is what she loves to do, right? She loves to put her hand on Ryan's chest and she loves to like hold her men close. So when I was looking at this article yesterday when she was with Mikkel, I want to say his name is Mikkel Maroney. That's how she explained, that's how you say his name. And she was actually standing with him and doing the exact same thing. And I thought to myself, well, number one, I can guarantee you Ryan Reynolds would not be very happy with this because you know how he doesn't like when she's with anyone else. But what I also noticed about this is who she is. She likes to hold her men tight. Let me show you the picture right here. Check it out. Check that out. That's her stance. She likes to hold the man like that. Do you notice that? It's like a thing for her. I'm going to start talking to every single man like this. If I see you at Dozers Live, which by the way, tickets go on sale on May 1st on Thursday. I'm going to talk about it in just a moment. But if I see you guys at Dozers Live, man or woman, you may have boobs or not. I don't know. Intimacy coordinator, be damned. I'm coming straight to your chest like this. Nice to see ya. Forget the hug, going straight hand to chest. Okay? So bring your chest protectors, everyone. Like in baseball. So she does this. This is kind of her thing. But this article that I pulled up, which I think is kind of funny, is this whole article is that their PDA, their excessive use of PDA is a convenient distraction, but it can backfire. It's going to backfire because all of a sudden, now, if you remember in the months after this drama, Blake and Ryan, they would be walking on the streets of New York all the time. Remember, we used to talk about it all the time that they would hold each other's hands all the time and they would almost be matching in the streets. We would joke about it here on Daily Dose of Donna, holding hands, kind of being like coordinated in their outfits. But we didn't see them make out all the time. But right now, they are making out left and right. They're constantly making out. Grab your friends, wear your chest protectors at Dosers Live. Chest protectors and dancing shoes. That's the new logo. I'm putting it on the invite. So this is the whole story is that Blake Lively, they're saying is that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have been packing on the PDA in recent days, and it's a deliberate tactic to drown out the controversy because they're kissing everywhere they go. Have you ever seen a couple make out so much? Have you ever seen a couple be so in love in the middle of such a crazy lawsuit? Like, I don't know about you guys, but Lance and I do not make out and kiss that much, even when we're not going through stress. Do you? Are you guys like PDAers? Are you? Do you guys make out and kiss your husband so much all the time? If you are, I mean, I'm not going to judge you. I kind of am. I'm not going to judge you. Secretly. Nah, I'm not going to judge you. Kind of, maybe I'm jealous. I'm actually not. I actually don't like PDA. I don't mind like a handhold. Maybe a little arm around, like a little, but like, it's a little much. It's very Cody and Robin Brown, right? It says when the headlines get heavy, love becomes a very convenient distraction. Blake and Ryan turning up the PDA right now isn't random. It's a classic Hollywood play. Drown out the controversy with the love story and get people talking about kisses instead of lawsuits. It's also a signal to the world that they're a team, standing strong together even when things get messy. But this woman, Sarah, stressed that the clear PR strategy could blow up in their faces any second if they're not careful. Audiences today, that's us, talking about us, are sharp. If the affection feels real, it can absolutely work. But if it looks like a stage performance, it can backfire fast, which is what we think it is, right? It's giving Blake a little breathing room, but there's a fine line between sweet and strategic. Too much PDA and people stop buying the love story and start seeing the spin. I think that's where we are. I think this whole idea of like, smile, smile, you're on candid camera. So, like, that's honestly what I feel like it is. It feels very much to me like they are pulling this kind of like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I mean, look at the difference between this and this. Like, it's literally, she's this, like, insert man here. It's, it feels so put on. And inside Ryan's like, I want to go home. I want to fucking go home because this premiere is not about me. It's not about me. Not about me. But whatever. Now, in the middle of all of this drama, of course, are some legal updates because Marvel, of course, is involved. And we do have to talk about that. Marvel is involved. And Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have had a Disney and Marvel play, and Deadline is kind of a go-to in the industry when it comes to all of the, important updates with this business of all of it. So I like going to Deadline. I like it better than Variety. I like it better than Hollywood Reporter. It tells you like the facts of the matter. And so here is what here's what Deadline reports. It says Disney and Marvel don't want to play nice pool with Justin Baldoni. Of course, look who wrote the article. Go back in the archives, y'all. Go back in the archives about what I said about Dominic Patton. I have a bone to pick with Mr. Dominic. Dominic Patton is a piece of work when it comes to this coverage. He does not like Justin Baldoni. So even just his title, Disney and Marvel don't want to play nice pool with Justin Baldoni over Deadpool and Blake Lively battle. I just don't like him. He does not like. Oh, thanks, Mara. I'll pull it up right after this. He does not like Justin Baldoni at all. Let me pull it up right now before I forget. I'm assuming it's on Nick Viall's his most recent episode of his show. 1851. Oh, it's a whole segment. Jesus, he's obsessed. Okay, I'll pull it up right after this. So it says Disney and Marvel don't want to play nice pool. And then it says Disney and Marvel say they just may be more Deadpool down the line. They don't want Justin Baldoni to know anything about the ongoing movie franchise. Well, no shit, because, they're assholes. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Actually, in the midst of resetting the MCU with upcoming Thunderbolts, and that's the Marvel universe, right? MCU. And Fantastic Four, the Bob Iger run media giant doesn't want to reveal much of anything else to do with Ryan Reynolds when it comes to Baldoni's ongoing and sprawling It Ends With Us legal battle. In a series of sharply worded letters sent to federal judge Lewis Lyman over the past few days, lawyers for the parties have been taking potshots at each other over a subpoena digging into what went on during the making of the R-rated blockbuster Deadpool and Wolverine. And was Reynolds mocking man bun positive Baldoni with the cringy nice pool character? They aren't calling each other out for playing a shell game, but they're getting pretty close. Marvel requests in the alternative of the primary relief sought that the court stay discovery from Marvel pending a determination of Ryan Reynolds' motion to dismiss. Meister, Seelig, and Fine and Liner Friedman, all of the attorneys for Baldoni, his Wayfair Studios execs and PR teams say. However, Reynolds himself has neither sought nor obtained a stay of discovery in connection with his dismissal motion. Additionally, and as detailed in the Wayfair party's opposition to Reynolds' motion, there are not substantial grounds for dismissal of the claims against him. And in the unlikely event claims against Reynolds are dismissed with prejudice, the information sought in the subpoenas remains relevant as to the suit against Lively. As the Wayfarer parties contend Reynolds was acting as an agent of Lively. For the sake of clarity, Nice Pool is a defamatory and mocking portrayal of Baldoni and alleged malice. That's what they say. Baldoni's lawyers added in their Monday letter to Lyman. The Wayfarer parties have proposed in good faith and to avoid any undue burden upon Marvel, to narrow the subpoena to documents concerning Reynolds' participation in the development of Nice Pool and communication concerning Baldoni. So they're saying we don't need a subpoena of everything involving Deadpool. We can narrow it down to just stuff around the development of just Nice Pool. It doesn't need to be about like everything connected to the movie. We don't give a shit. Just around this character, which I think is fair. Marvel will not be prejudiced if the court declines to stay compliance with the subpoena because the film has already been released and any non-public documents can be marked confidential pursuant to the protective order. And then it talks a little bit about the background of everything. It says, it goes a little bit more in the background. It says Reynolds is now a defendant in the suit. There was evidence retention letter sent to Iger and Marvel chief in January. We knew that around the time of the LA wildfires, and now this looming subpoena. In response, Disney has drawn a spiked line in the sand. The requested documents are particularly sensitive because they relate to the development of a character in an ongoing movie franchise. This is what Disney's counsel says. This last week, Marvel has built the success of the Marvel Universe in large part by interconnecting storylines, plots, and characters across its titles, including crossover events and sequels. Whether and how such elements will appear in upcoming unreleased projects is a subject of much public interest, and this information is closely guarded by Marvel. So they're trying to we have to stay in secret. We cannot share this with anything else. We have to stay just like very tight because you never know where these characters can come up. But as I know, Nice Pool has died a tragic death in this last episode or this last installment of Deadpool. So I don't see why they have to protect this anymore. It says the discovery sought from Marvel is broad disclosure and of the confidential documents would prejudice Marvel, and Reynolds' motion presents substantial grounds for dismissal, And they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay. It's very frustrating, obviously, and there's a lot that we haven't seen because what's interesting is in the letters back and forth, we realize that there's been subpoenas going back and forth that we didn't even know about. The first time we've heard about this is in this letter to Judge Lyman. Now, I just want to remind you guys that the judge is brothers, and I talked about this in January. This was one of the first things that I picked up on. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I said this before anyone else picked up on this. Judge Lyman is Doug Lyman's brother. I actually didn't pick up on it first. I got sent the information because my friend Eliza Rosen, shout out, is a subscriber of Puck News. Now, Puck News, if you guys remember, his last name is, it's not Baldoni. He's actually mentioned in the Jenna Abel lawsuit. I can't remember. He's a writer, but he writes for Puck News. And he actually interviewed on the Town podcast. He interviewed Brian Friedman. He's not very pro Justin. He's more pro, what's it called? Blake, you can tell, more pro Blake and Ryan. He released a newsletter when the judge was first assigned this case saying, funny enough, Judge Lyman is brothers with Doug Lyman. Well, who is Doug Lyman? And I did a video about this in January, and I was told very clearly it's not going to be a conflict of interest because they're just brothers and it's not really connected. I always thought it was kind of weird. Doug Lyman is a producer and a director. He's worked on many, many things. I'm going to pull up Grok right now, which is my new favorite AI tool. I use ChatGPT all the time, but I really like Grok. I found it to be like very helpful. Okay, I'm going to pull up Grok and we're going to show you guys on Grok exactly who is Doug Lyman. Oh, whoops, I spelled it wrong. I guess that wouldn't work. Who is Doug Lyman? There we go. Poor Doug Lyman. I just did a whole search on Doug Lyman. Okay, Doug Lyman is an American film director and producer known for action, thriller, and comedy films. He directed Swingers. He directed The Bourne Identity, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, The Edge of Tomorrow, American Made, Jumper, Fair Game, Roadhouse. He was born in New York City to a Jewish family, Mishpacha. Okay. He's the son of lawyer Arthur Lyman. And of course, it doesn't say here, it doesn't mention it here, but we do know that his brother is Louis Lyman. Okay. This is important here. Now, I'm going to ask AI, is is Doug Lyman connected in any way to Marvel? That's important. What is the connection with Doug Lyman and Marvel? There may be none. Okay. Doug Lyman's connection to Marvel is primarily through his brief involvement with the Gambit film, a planned X-Men spinoff featuring the Marvel Comics character Remy LeBeau, Gambit. And that was in 2015, 16, 2019, Okay, so it was just one character, one movie called Gambit. And I don't think it actually turned into anything. It said in August 2016, Lyman exited Gambit to direct Justice League Dark, also known as Dark Universe, a DC Comics based film. So he has not really done much of Marvel. So he has not been really involved with Marvel projects since. But Marvel is also Disney, right? So what is Doug Lyman's connection to Disney? Okay. He's worked with Disney a ton because Disney is connected to everything, right? So I'm not saying that there's definitely a connection here. I'm not saying that there's definitely a conflict here. It's very possible that his brother will never talk to him in everything or anything ever again about these cases. I'm just saying, of all the judges in the world, it does feel like a little bit tough and scary that the judge that is in charge of this case or that is assigned to this case, his brother, his brother's career is like hanging on a thread to his connections to all of the characters that are like part of this case. So it's giving a little bit of Aunt Bev on the Karen Reed trial. If Judge Lyman covers this case and decides to go pro Baldoni the whole way through and says, no, I do not believe that Blake and Ryan deserve to win a damn thing in this case, which would be obviously a wonderful outcome for those of us that believe that to be true. Will that hurt Doug Lyman in his career in any capacity? Will people hold that against Doug because his brother potentially ruined Ryan and Blake's reputation and careers? Possible. It's a lot of like, you rub my arm, I rub yours, or your back, or your whatever. There's something that is there. I don't think that that's so out of the realm of possibility. I don't know. Crazier things have happened. It would have been so much better just to bring in a judge that had nothing to do with the entertainment industry whatsoever. So I don't know. Just thinking. Okay, let's pull up in another story. Let's pull up, I guess, our best friend, Nick Viall, talked about Travis unfollowing. Talked about Travis unfollowing Ryan Reynolds and was very, very, very apparently thought it was a really, really bad move because Nick Viall is the king of all things manly and knows right from wrong always. Let's hear what Nick Viall had to say about this.
Speaking of date, recently, or not too recently, a few months ago, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, Ryan Reynolds, and Blake Lively went out to dinner, and they seemed like friends. And this morning, I know we haven't really covered the story too much lately because, it's still toxic and whatever. Our position is our position. But Travis Kelce unfollowed Ryan Reynolds, according to TMZ.
Which is like a statement.
Yeah, listen, it doesn't change. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god!" Maybe Travis Kelce feels a certain way towards Ryan. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't seem like an accident. Travis follows like 1,300 people.
Oh, So that was
My
a
big
choice.
thing is like at this point, like despite them doing a double date not too long ago, despite the connection and friendship between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, and at this point, the only thing that has been coming out is like, friends of or speculation, more or less rumors. But like, Travis has his own massive show and podcast with his brother, and he's obviously a very public figure, and he's like going out in the limelight. Like, why at this point like now he's involving himself in a story that you would think he's got everything about that's coming out of like Taylor Swift camp has suggested that like, who knows what's true or not, but like she didn't appreciate being brought into this like messy conflict between Justin and Blake. And
Which,
then
like, no one has mentioned Travis.
no one's
Kelce's
mentioned
name
Travis
at all.
Kelce at
I was
all.
not thinking
Not
about
once.
him in regards to this
Literally
whatsoever.
forgot he was even dating Taylor during this whole thing.
Well,
Like,
maybe
he's
that's the
been-
whole thing. Maybe he wants press.
Maybe,
I don't
but
know.
doesn't
Maybe,
it
but, like,
seem
he
weird?
Guys, what? Let's listen to the whole thing, and then we can tear it apart in just a second, because I don't think it's that much longer.
Like, regardless of why he did it, or
he could have muted her. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I did say that.
he's dating the most
famous,
like has been through this world, knows every trick of the trade, knows what's going to get press, what's not going to get press. Like, him unfollowing is going, like, he could have just been like, you know what, I don't want to see his stuff anymore, like, mute. But no, he wants to be part of the story, which I find crazy.
It's petty.
So the headline is that he unfollowed Ryan Reynolds specifically. So Ryan Reynolds still follows Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Travis Kelce has like 1,600 people that he's following.
Yeah.
So Blake Lively doesn't follow Travis Kelce, but that's like a separate.
But she may have never.
She may have never. Yeah, that was never part of the headline.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
it's just like
he's being like roped into it now because you chose to like publicly unfollow.
For example, obviously you guys know I've been very critical of James Kennedy since his arrest with Allie, right? Like, and then when that came out, came on the show.
I don't know, Nick. You have nothing to do with the story. So you talking about this is so petty. Why are you bringing yourself into the story? You're so petty. You're so petty, Nick. And you're so petty.
I had very strong opinions about James and his character and things like that. The last thing I thought about in that moment was like, oh, I need to unfollow James Kennedy. And so I followed him for, I think, a bit of time. People did start to notice. And then I was like, yeah, I shouldn't follow this guy.
Exactly. Because following someone is a public showing of support.
Follow. But it just like wasn't top of mind. You know what I'm saying? It was more like,
it wasn't top of mind. How does he know that Travis Kelce hasn't wanted to unfollow Ryan for the last 2 months? You guys, this is pissing me off. Whew, add him to the Jax Taylor list. I just got sweaty.
like, oh yeah, I guess so. But like at this point, like if it is like maybe Travis feels a certain way about Ryan, about who knows?
Maybe.
I'm just saying, like it is like no one asked for it, no one was paying attention to it, and
does Travis not have a say in the fucking matter, Nick? His girlfriend is involved. His probably future wife and probably the mother of his future children, who was probably deposed in one of the biggest lawsuits. You're saying you wouldn't unfollow someone who was involving your wife who's sitting right next to you? Oh, don't unfollow the guy that sues or deposes your wife. What?
that was a choice he made. It just seems like almost a really weird, petty move to insert yourself in a story that you see. Everything about their actions has been, we don't want to be involved.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know what's happening going on, but like, and again, it's just me. Like when I'm in the position of my life right now where I can afford to be my friends' friends when they really need a friend. That's kind of how I look at it, especially when people are like, when I feel like I can be the only one to have their back. Like I can take the shrapnel, I can take the criticism, like I'm good.
Mhm.
And it seems like everything about that's coming from Taylor's camp is like, I don't really want to, I don't really want to part. I'm just too busy being, Era's tour, and like this is messy and I don't want this. And I guess that's a choice. I mean, again, and maybe she has a certain strong opinion. But it's just a weird move. I don't know. It's just why Travis wants to be a part of the story by doing something so trivial as to unfollow Instagram is a choice.
That is a choice.
It's a choice.
It also was a choice for you to say that my forehead was big
I
in
was gonna say.
our Armani.
We listen and we don't
in
judge.
our Armani.
Well, you have
post.
a
Or she thinks her friend fucked her over and lied. What? What the fuck did I just watch? You're trying to tell me, Nick, someone roll the tapes of all the times Nick Viall has been a bad friend or a shitty human being to other people in his life. Because I guarantee you there's probably, I don't follow his career, but I know there's a lot of Bachelor fans that watch my show. There's a lot of people out there that would probably be able to roll 15 tapes of Nick Viall screwing over or dropping people in his life that say one thing that he doesn't agree with. That was absolutely the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Travis Kelce unfollowing Ryan Reynolds was not to insert himself in the conversation. It was to get him the fuck out of the conversation. He doesn't want to see Ryan Reynolds' 8-head anymore in his feed. He doesn't want to see Ryan and Blake parade their bullshit PDA, pretending like everything's fine while they're ruining so many lives around them. That's my assumption from this. He's clearly sending a solid message. It's not petty. It is a pointed, solid message saying, I'm done with you. You fucked us. And by us, it means Taylor is us because we are a unit. She is with me. I would imagine that's a solid couple. And you know what, Nick? If you're telling me that a guy and his wife, if they screw over your wife that's sitting right next to you in that podcast studio so badly and potentially can ruin her massive multi-billion-dollar career because Taylor has taken such a massive industry hit because of Blake Lively, I don't think anything has taken her down in the eyes of the industry as much as Blake Lively. Honestly, I don't think anything has taken her down in the Swiftie community as much as Blake Lively. Can you guys think of anything that's taken her down this much? In our eyes, like I used to be a big Swiftie, and this whole thing has given me like a little bit of an ick with Taylor. I mean, I was already getting a little bit oversaturated and a little bit like, but this experience made me feel like, ew, she was part of this like dragon crew that was like making Justin Baldoni feel bad. So this idea that they're pulling away from Blake gave me a little bit more hope. Okay, so maybe she's not that bad of a person. It's wild. That was a really, really crazy response. I can't believe it's what's strange is he's lacking any self-awareness. Nick Viall is lacking any self-awareness for his absolute someone said the idiot compassion, which is what Elserich pointed out, what I've just been calling as yes men. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are just surrounded by yes men, and he's just a fanboy. He and a lot of these Blake Lively supporters and Ryan Reynolds supporters are just fanboys. That's all they are. They're fanboys and fangirls because there's no real evidence that they're going off of. So it doesn't make any sense. Take Blake Lively out of it. Put just Schmake Schmively and make it just some random Jane Doe. And take Justin Baldoni out of it and make it another John Doe. Put the story, take a story about a woman on a movie set and a man on a movie set. Take celebrity out of it, take followers out of it, take looks out of it, put, just a shadow face over it, but just look at the evidence. How can you say you're on her side? How? After what we are looking at, actual evidence. How? Other than I blindly believe women. That's the only reason. The only reason to believe Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds is A, I blindly believe all women, or B, I'm obsessed with Ryan Reynolds because I like Deadpool and I want to be in his next movie and I want to, go to Wrexham. This is literally the only thing. It's just, wow, that was like frustrating to watch. We will talk about that more in just a second. a good reminder that tickets are on sale on Thursday for Dosers Live. Come to Dosers Live if you want to hang out with like-minded Baldoni supporters. Wouldn't that be funny if we just like all just like, you know, come one, come all to support Baldoni? Well, you never know. You never know who's going to show up at Dozers Live. Maybe I'll get Justin Baldoni to show up, and maybe we'll get a picture of Nick Viall to throw eggs at. Just saying. Just saying. Go to dailydosepod.com/Dosers Live to get on the list. May 1st, tickets will go on sale. I'm super excited about it. We're getting all of the details planned. It will be really, really fun. Can't wait for it. Another thing is that Daily Dose of Donna is brought to you this week by Rula. And as you guys know, as you can see, I just got very, very triggered by Nick Viall, and I feel like I need to talk out my feelings. And Rula is the best solution because mental health is so important, and finding the right mental health care should be simple and affordable. But for many, it's not. Long wait times, high costs, and difficulty finding the right provider can make help feel overwhelming. That's where Rula comes in. Rula connects you with an in-network licensed therapist that accept most major insurance. Their users typically have a copay of $15 per session. And I'm just pulling up the link. Thanks, Wanda. $15 per session, making therapy more accessible than ever. Start your mental health journey today. You can find the right therapist for you with a network of over 15,000 therapists and psychiatrists nationwide, enabling you to find your personalized solution and the right therapist for you based on your needs, preferences, and state requirements. And you can do it from home. That's the best part. You can just stay home all day and work with a therapist. Join the thousands who have already turned to Rula on their support. For support on their journey to better mental health and well-being. Getting started is easy. Just visit rula.com/dailydose today. When you sign up, they're going to ask you how you heard of them. Support Daily Dose of Donna by letting them know I sent you. It's a simple way to help us while you take the first step towards the care that you deserve. Go to rula.com/dailydose now and connect with a licensed therapist who truly cares. Your mental health matters. And just a little reminder, you guys, I wanted to make sure that you all are subscribed. It's so annoying. Do you know who I wasn't subscribed to today? Zach Peter. Swear. My bestie, Zach Peter. I wasn't subscribed to him today. I went and checked. I was like, where's Zach's show? What's going on? I looked it up. It unsubscribed me. And he's so close to 100K. I was like, what? So I don't know if it was like a by mistake, like a click. I by mistake clicked when I was liking a video, and you could just like by mistake click unsubscribe. So make sure right now to click subscribe, like the video, and turn on the bell so that you always get notified, because I put up videos throughout the day now. I'm putting up little mini videos throughout the day, and you just want to make sure to get those notifications. So make sure to subscribe as you go through the show, and it also helps me out. So let other people know that Daily Dose of Donna is here to expose Bill Belichick's girlfriend. Yep, I said it. We're talking about elder abuse on this next segment of Daily Dose of Donna. What is up, you guys, with this situation? Bill Belichick, I talked about it yesterday, but now his friends are shaking their heads at alarming relationship with a runaway train, is what they're calling it. Runaway train, Jordon Hudson. I pulled up some TikToks. I was mentioning it yesterday, you guys. This is not a joke. We have a real big problem. Watch these TikToks that I found. Let me put the volume down because it is loud, but look at what she looks like when she's on the field hanging out with him, like just at his, Kenny. Kenny says, crazy, 1,000 people are watching and under 200 likes. What's up with that? Is that 20%? Or is that 2%? Someone help me. I don't know how many percent, but it's a lot. It's a low percentage. We need to up our percentage here. Let's do math. Check this out, you guys. Check out Jordon Hudson on the field. I'm in court. Look at what her deal is. This is a football game, a college football game. What is happening? What is she wearing? What is going on? There's something, her energy's off, you guys. There's something going on. I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't feel right. There's so many videos of this that like I keep seeing and I just feel uncomfortable about it. I don't know. Of course, she's sticking out like a sore thumb. Okay. It's giving take your grandfather to work day or maybe bring your granddaughter to work day. Now, the beginning take that we had, I thought was, I'm worried for her. Okay. I'm worried for her. She's being groomed. Now he's being groomed for sure. Okay. I think we need to take a pause. Jen is on the stand getting okay. We need to take one little pause. Just for 1 minute. We have to do a pause and check this out. Everyone's telling me to. I'm going to pull up Law and Crime. Oh my God, this is making me anxious. Why is there Oh my God, why is there an ad on Law and Crime? Oh my God, this is gonna make me anxious. We'll watch it just for like a couple minutes.
It would be after 12:15, but before 12:30.
She got highlights.
approximately, Between that,
Were you still driving when you had that conversation?
yes,
And at some point you told us you arrived at your sister's home and went in.
yes.
I'd like to move forward now to when you were inside the house. Tell us generally when you first got there and saw everybody, what were you doing?
Okay, so for those of you guys
I
that
just
don't
sat down
know,
at the table. I started talking to them. We were listening to music. Typical night.
Anything stand out as far as music or interaction with the group?
she has a fake tan.
No, we were just laughing, telling stories. At one point, I'm not sure if it was at some point, my other nephew had been over my house and had shown me this video on his phone, and it was a family inside.
Okay, just so you guys know who she is, and we can get into this. I should just start a new channel because I could sit here all day and do commentary on Jen McCabe. Jen McCabe is, I'm convinced, like prime suspect number one. I don't think she actually murdered John O'Keefe. I'm convinced that she had a huge part in the cover up of the murder of John O'Keefe. And I'm convinced that she's a huge part in framing Karen. She's the one that Googled house long to die in the cold at 2:27 a.m., deleted the search. And then she was the one that was driving around with Karen Reed that morning. And she's the one that says, and on the stand says that Karen Reed yelled, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. Now that was in trial number one. She had a crazy back and forth in the trial. If you go back and watch on YouTube, her back and forth with the prosecutor and the defense on trial number one, it was intense. Now in the second one, this is retrial. This is her first time on the stand. She looks like a new woman. She has highlights and she got a crazy bad spray tan. I don't know. She got Blake and Ryan's spray tanner. She probably has that spray tan pit stains. Something's going on. Anyway, she just got on the stand, but she's being she's being questioned by Brennan, who is the prosecutor, who drives me freaking insane. If you listen to him yesterday when he did his voir dire, it was insane.
Side joke. The video, it was a music video from a long time ago. And so I was telling my other niece and nephew, oh my gosh, you have to see this video. It's hysterical. And then we started playing it and watching it.
What was the video?
It's Raining Men.
What?
Did that get a lot of playtime during that get together?
Well, I have one sister who sometimes has a little too much to drink, takes out an umbrella and will dance.
All of them have too much to drink all the time, by the way. So over here on the right, just so you guys know, for those of you who have no information about this trial, I'm not going to sit here for a long time. I'm just going to give you guys an idea. Over here on the right, this is Karen Reed. Okay. This is our defendant. This is the woman that's charged with the murder. She, I believe, is framed. I believe she's innocent. This is my boyfriend, Alan Jackson, over here. Okay. He gave an opening statement that should win awards. This is her other defense attorney. He has been much more quiet in this trial, but this is our boyfriend. Okay. These are her parents in the back here. They, poor things, are going through this again. It is quite an incredibly, oh my God, you guys' comments are really funny. She looks like Alex McCord. That's good. All right. I will definitely continue to cover it. And I really want to do, and I'm working on it. You guys, I already started recording my Karen Reed background, but I couldn't finish it. You have to understand, I'm also.
Joke.
While you were at your sister's house, what area?
Let's
of the
watch
house
2 more
did you
minutes and then
spend
I'll
time
stop.
in?
Yeah, I was in the kitchen.
What was the mood of everybody in the house, as far as you remember?
Everybody was in a great mood.
Before we
Was there any
decided to kill
fighting?
him.
No,
Any arguing?
no,
Any violence?
no.
Was it a celebratory mood?
Yes.
As you were in the house, were you waiting for anybody else that you expected to come?
Yes, I was expecting John and Karen to come.
At some point when you're in the kitchen, or let me ask you a little background. As you're in the kitchen of that house, can you see outside from the kitchen area?
They had blinds or something down, but if the blinds were up, you could see out.
Were the blinds up?
No.
At any point, were you able to see outside from inside the house?
From the front door, yes.
Does the front door, is it glass?
Yes.
At some point when you were with everybody in the celebration, did you have a chance to look outside?
Yes.
And when you looked outside, what did you see?
I saw a dark SUV out
Saw her.
front.
Did you know whose SUV that was?
I believed it was Karen's.
Could you see who was in it?
They were all
No.
very drunk.
At that point in night, what does the weather look like from the front door?
It's dark and it's snowing, and I could see, brake lights.
Did you see if that SUV moved at all?
I didn't see the SUV actually move, but I saw it in a few different locations.
How many times did you look out?
Can't give you an exact number of how many times I looked out. I can tell you I saw.
Okay, I'm going to keep going with the show, you guys. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put it, we're going to talk about it in just a little bit. We have other stories to talk about. And the big move is that when defense crosses her, that's going to be the move, is when it's going to be very, very important. And I can't wait for it. But all I know is I really have to work on my Jen McCabe accent. No, that wasn't good. How am I going to do it so good? That was Minnesota. I was standing at the door. It was very dark outside and it was snowy. And I was drinking my what do you think? Seltzer. And I was 7.2 blood alcohol content. Okay. Let's park the car in Harvard Yard in Canton. Okay, let's keep going, you guys. So back to Bill Belichick and Jordan, because we can't do both things. But trust me, we'll talk about this. You betcha. This is another video of our. We've seen all the crazy videos of our lovely Jordon Hudson, but his friends are going to do an intervention, y'all. They're going to do an intervention because they know how deep he's in it. They saw an opening and she saw an opening and she took the opportunity to wiggle her way into the football coach's life and career. She's younger, she's inexperienced, she's lacking in perspective and professionalism. And he is such a strong voice in so many ways, autocratic. And here he is becoming mush in her hands and letting her direct everything. You guys, I saw a video of her walking with him and he literally she pulls him like you would pull a dog. She walks him like on a leash. It's wild. It's wild. It's not a healthy relationship. And so people are very, very concerned. Also, she's handling all of his media requests. She is gaining all of the territory. She's filling a need that he had. She's very aggressive. She's CC'd on all of his emails. She's been involved in all of his communications with Robbie Pickerel Evans, the UNC Senior Associate Athletic Director for External Affairs and Strategic Communications. Her email signature now reads Chief Operating Officer of Belichick Productions. People are describing her as a runaway train. You guys, she is nuts. It's elder abuse. I'm concerned about it for him. I don't know much about him, but I'm concerned for him. This picture is too much for me. And I truly, for Halloween, I want one of you guys to dress up like this with your husbands. And if you don't, then, I will send you a $50 gift card if you guys do this for Halloween. Okay? If you put on a mermaid costume and you make your husband dress like a fisherman and you look up like it. She's the Blake Lively of college football. Best comment ever. Katie of Arc, 10 points. She is the Blake Lively of college football. She's taking that shit over. She is taking authorship of his career. Where is his people? Where is his friends, his family? This is wild. He's completely like falling apart, and he's becoming like a little child, and he's like Alec Baldwin with Ilaria. Right? He's like, I don't want any more kids. Okay, I can have 7. I'm allergic to cats. Okay, we can have 9. Like, he is completely falling apart. Okay. Next, then just this morning, she releases on her Instagram. Did you guys see this? She releases on her Instagram an email that he sent on her Instagram account. And it says this. Let me pull it up. She's speaking for him, basically, by releasing an email that says, and I really, okay, she didn't delete it. I screenshotted just in case she was going to delete it because I thought for sure she would. But this is what she said. And she's doing this for him as if he can't speak for himself. This is an email from him to all these people. David, Jofi, Michael, Richard at Inkwell Management, Burge. I don't know who these people are. But this is from Thursday, April 10th at 8:41 a.m. And it says, I don't think this is fantastic, but it probably will hype the book, which is clearly the ongoing theme here. What did Robin say? I'm going to make Vito dress like the mermaid and I'll be the fisherman. That's perfect. It says, this is about what I expected from the media. We went through how important it was for me to put I effed up in the book. And of course, that is the feature of this article, which is mostly about admitting mistakes and talking about a Super Bowl mistake. I am fine with putting mistakes in the book, but I am certainly not surprised that of 260 pages, this is what they would highlight. And of course, the I effed up is the clickbait they use for the stories. We'll see what the title of the article is, which I notice has been conveniently left out. And he's going on and on talking about how he is, concerned about how they're picking up different parts of it for the media train. And he says, I will say again that I want this book to be presented as a look at my professional life and how I did my job on the way up to as the leader of an organization that grew from a 500 million franchise to an 8 billion organization that played in 10 and won 6 Super Bowls over 25 years. This book is about how I did my job and lessons from my 50 years in and around the NFL, not a bathroom book that highlights my mistakes. I acknowledge the mistakes in the book, but of course, I effed up is the catchphrase. I have at times reluctantly gone along with the title, cover, and language in the book. I am not going to be the conductor of a hype train in the book promotion. We have enough hype to work with. So on and so forth. And then this random picture. If anyone understands this, I have no idea what this is. Does anyone understand what this is? Truly no idea what this picture would mean. I truly have no idea. But it's very, very confusing. And why she's releasing it makes absolutely no sense. It's like he's lost control of the story. Something about it feels amiss because Dave Portnoy, Piers Morgan, Megyn Kelly, everyone is saying something is wrong here. I mean, it's very clearly wrong and weird. He's 70 some years old. He's never had this kind of an experience with anyone. And all of a sudden he's having this. So it seems very strange. And I feel like all eyes need to be on this relationship because It doesn't seem good. It doesn't seem good. Blink twice, Bill. Exactly. Blink twice. Okay. Let's move on. What's another story? Teddi Mellencamp is looking good. She's feeling good. And luckily, she has some really good updates when she was talking about her cancer diagnosis because it's working. Everything's really working. But she still is saying that her life does feel devastating. She went out last night and she looks, oh my God, I think she looks stunning, you guys. Did you see pictures? Let me show you pictures of what Teddi looks like right now. Obviously, she is struggling and she doesn't feel this way, but I think she looks beautiful. She said, "This is my first night out since I got out of the hospital. I feel good. I know it feels really devastating right now, but everything, it gets better." This was her at a Women's Cancer Research Fund event. She went with Kyle Richards, her friend, of course, from Real Housewives. She looks adorable. Both of them look really great. She said that the tumors have shrunk a bunch. The immunotherapy is working. Her kids have been so loving, so kind, so funny. Her big checkup is on June 1st. She said whether it was good news or bad news, we're all just trying to be there for each other and find special moments. And I'm so happy for her, you guys. I really think that it's going to work. I mean, I was really on the like questioning it there. Look at the scarring in her head though. Whoa, whoa, whoa. But I think she looks phenomenal. So I'm so happy for her. I really am so happy for Teddi. I'm like, of course Teddi like survives this. She is so incredibly strong and she's just such a survivor. Like she always has been. It's really, really incredible. She's still living. Charlie's asking, does she still live with Kyle? I think she lives at home. I think she and Edwin both live at home. They have a big enough house that they can live in separate bedrooms. They get along really well, even though they're not together. But she looks great and she's really happy that things are working. I'm sure she's not like so happy, but like, you know, she's happy that things are working. Meanwhile, we have to talk for a second about Beyonce. You guys, spin this any way you want, but if you bought tickets for Beyonce's concert, I guarantee you you're pissed. Because last night Beyonce was here at SoFi Stadium for her first of 5 shows. And I could have bought a ticket. I looked on StubHub at like 4:30 p.m. Just curious. I could have gone to Beyonce's concert for $50. $50. And there are people that spent $5,000 on tickets yesterday. Not yesterday, but for yesterday's show. Remember, Beyonce's tickets were crazy, crazy expensive. Can you believe how this went down? Like, I have no idea, but this was a ticket crisis, they're saying. A ticket crisis. And they're saying it's for a few reasons. A, because it was so expensive. But as of last week, there were still 3,000 seats available for SoFi Stadium shows for these 5 shows. And then my friend was like, yeah, well, she shouldn't have had 5 shows at SoFi. I said, well, Taylor Swift had absolutely no problem selling out those shows. $50, I could have bought tickets. And not just one ticket. I could have bought a $50 ticket, a $75 ticket, a $90 ticket. And then there was still someone selling a $9,000 ticket on the floor. I was like, oh my God, that is horrible. That's painful. My friend bought tickets for him and his wife. He's not even going to go. My friend Adam, who I host Just You and Me, he bought tickets for him and his wife. And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. I said, tell me. He goes, I could buy them right now for a third of the price that I spent. Like, how depressing is that? That never happens in concerts. Usually you buy tickets and then you could sell them and make more money. He's like, I literally would lose money if I sold them today. That never happens for concert tickets for Beyonce. Now, meanwhile, of course, like huge fight breaks out yesterday at the Beyonce show. That's what I just saw. Huge, huge fight. There was like a massive Beyonce. I mean, this is the front page of Daily Mail. Beyonce concert descends into chaos as a fight erupts in the VIP lounge. The VIP lounge at SoFi Stadium. So it was a massive fight. So not only are you paying $50, but there was a group of women all dressed in denim and cowboy attire brawling with each other. after the show. I mean, the video is wild. I don't even know if I should show it to you. Should I show you the video? I don't know. Do you guys want to see a video of all these women brawling? Of course it's on Daily Mail. Okay, fine. Don't twist my arm. I'll show it to you. Hide your kids. Let's watch it. I haven't even seen the video. I just saw pictures. There's a little bit of an ad. Here we go. I have it muted. I don't know what they're fighting about. There's lots of screaming. Lots of screaming. Lots of cowboy hats. Oh, we threw a punch. We threw a punch. Whoa! Oh! There's cowboy hats and cowboy boots flying. This ain't Texas. Woo! In the VIP section, no less. They keep re-showing just that one hat flying. Whoa! The different angles. Get Andy in a camera. Get Andy in a camera. People are very angry these days. Everyone's angry online, in real life. Maybe they're angry because they spent $3,000 on a ticket that went for $50 tonight. Maybe that's why. Maybe they're angry because they have to wear cowboy boots all night. Those things are very, very painful. I'm sorry. I bought myself a pair of cowboy boots for an event the other year and I wore them. I love a cowboy boot. I think it looks adorable, but they're not comfortable. And you can't lie about that. If you go to Stagecoach, you're pretending to be comfortable. You're not comfortable. Speaking of Stagecoach, Brandon Slenar was cozying up to Sydney Sweeney. Yep. Sydney Sweeney, newly single Sydney Sweeney and Brandon Slenar, our favorite. Where's the picture? Must find picture immediately. Where's the picture? Freaking out. Where's the picture? Did I delete the picture of Brandon Sklenar's face? Yes, Brandon Slenar and Sydney Sweeney were spotted canoodling. But I thought that Brandon Slenar had a little girl had a girlfriend. But according to sources, they were dancing and singing together. And you know how that goes. You're at a country concert, you're dancing, you're doing your thing. But according to People Magazine, they were spotted close together now that she's single. And I say that is a hot couple. Listen, he's not perfect. But don't tell me that's not a hot freaking couple. I'll take it. Just don't talk, Brandon. Don't talk. But that's hot. Don't say that that's not hot. Oh, you guys don't like him at all. Like, you're not willing to even go there. What if he was Team Justin? Would you be open? If Brandon Slenar was Team Justin, would you be open to it? I would. Guys, what if Travis Kelce followed Justin Baldoni today? How petty would that be, Nick Viall? How freaking petty would that be? Bam. Anything else that I want to talk about today? I think that's that. Karen Reed, let's do this. I'm going to watch Jen McCabe's time on the stand, and then we're going to have to talk about that on another episode because that's going to be the big one. Let's get into it. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Thanks for being here with me. Thanks for laughing with me. And thanks for talking crap about Nick Viall, talking crap about Travis Kelce. Make sure to sign up for Dosers Live. 2 more days until tickets go on sale. I appreciate all your love. Thank you so much for everyone being here. Thank you for subscribing, and I'll see you mañana. Bye.